Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Happy TGBE Spring Fling. That's right. It's Kate Richburg here, and welcome to my segment of the Great Bead Extravaganza Spring Fling Edition. Great presentation so far by Andrew Thornton and Candy Coop, my buddies, and we've got some great presentations coming up after this. My buddy Jill McKay, Sarah and Kristen from Softflex. It's going to be a great day. We have a little TGBE chat thread going on. We have a little private group that we chat in. And Andrew was saying that he likes to have his friends like craft streams going on in the background because he feels like he's crafting with friends. Well, I feel the same way. These 2 days are really awesome to spend with these wonderful presenters making all of these terrific items. So even though we're still doing this virtually, maybe someday we'll do it in person. Who knows? It's a good pipe dream. It feels like I'm crafting with all of you together, so it's awesome. Well, I wanted to give a quick shout out and thanks to all of you who are watching and who have purchased our kit over on beadshop.com and have liked and shared. If you are so inclined, I am watching or I'm broadcasting on. Let me click over to the comments so I can see. Oh my gosh, there's so many people commenting. It's great to have all you all here. Pardon me. I am broadcasting on all my social. So let me throw a couple of social cards up, you guys, so you can follow me. And not only follow me, but make sure that you find and follow all of the great presenters that are showing this weekend, because we all put out such great content, and much of it is just free craft education, right? So let me throw a couple of banners up here for you guys to check out. Of course, you guys can find me every Wednesday and Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. You can find me on that Bead Shop social, doing my Bead Shop Live and my Free Tip Friday. You can give us a follow over at beadshop.com on our Instagram. And if you make anything with Bead Shop items, please tag us because we'd love to share it to our stories. Join our Facebook group called The Bead Table. We'd love to have all y'all gather around the bead table with us. And if you're liking and watching us on YouTube, which is always great because you can watch it on your TV screen real nice and big, you can like and subscribe and turn those notifications on right at beadshop.com. You can also find me, you guys, me as Kate Richburg Jewelry Educator. You can follow me at BeadKate on Insta. I'd love to have you follow me over there. I need to break another major Instagram follower milestone. So go over there and follow me, would you? I would love it. And then you can like and subscribe to me on my YouTube channel at Kate Richburg. And I've got 2 Facebook things going on. I've got a group, Create with Kate Richburg, and you can also like my page, Kate Richburg Jewelry Educator. I've got a couple of places on the World Wide Web that you can find me, of course, katerichburg.com, which I just kind of post all of my general info, also including links on where to purchase my 2 best-selling metalsmithing books. If you didn't know, I wrote 2 metalsmithing books. Get over there and get yourselves copies. And then you can also find me, my jewelry supplies for sale over at katerichburgjewelry.com. Okay, so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And you guys, some of you who've been following me on social know that I did some relocating. Still with Bead Shop, it's all good, but I relocated here to the Great Central Valley of California, and I've got a studio space. And my studio space is almost done. So actually tomorrow I'm going to start doing some moving in, which is going to be great. Which is also great news for you guys, which means more demos, more metalsmithing content. I have a dedicated space. I won't be coming at you all the time from my cozy little sewing room here, but I'll be coming at you from my studio space with my equipment and stuff like that. So it'll be really fantastic to get that going again. So let's see. We've got so many people here, which is great. So thank you guys so much for sharing um, all of this, all of these, the stream today. You can share it to your social. And make sure, you guys, to go over and like, we also have social media for the Great Bead Extravaganza. You can follow us on our social media on Instagram. You can follow us over on our YouTube channel. And right here on Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook, either our page or our group, make sure that you like all of those so you'll never miss anything that we're up to. We're doing all kinds of fun stuff. We do a monthly trend report. We do bead trades where we all make cool stuff with products from everybody's stores, all kinds of cool stuff. So don't forget to give us a shout out on social. And if you do make projects from the weekend, please tag us at the Great Bead Extravaganza, either on your Insta or wherever you share them on social, because we'd love to see them. Okay, so let's get this party started, shall we? As you know, all week or the past week and a half, I have been sharing this bracelet project that I'm going to be making for you today. Got to stay hydrated, you guys. Last night I was having a little bit of a wine, but this is water to keep me hydrated. So bear with me here just a second. Everybody take a sip of your water, and let's go and take a look at what we're going to be making today. So you've seen the kits, right, over on beadshop.com. I call these my expedition kits. And before I get any further, I wanted to put down on here that, and it's also in the chat that I put in, and it was in your newsletters. If you got your beadshop.com newsletter this morning, you saw that for Spring Fling, we are having a coupon code just for our Spring Fling Great Bead Extravaganza. When you shop at beadshop.com this weekend through Sunday, 4/10/22 at midnight Pacific time, you can enter Spring Fling 20 and you'll save 20% store wide. Okay, so the kits, if they're not sold out already, this morning when I checked, we had 16 of the Amelia kits left and everything else was sold out. But you guys, don't worry. So we're gonna, there's a recipe right on our website at beadshop.com. Okay, so I want to kind of walk you through what you'll need, because you can, as my buddy Candy Coop likes to say, choose your own adventure with this. Okay, so you can jump over to beadshop.com. You can go to, right now, if you're watching this live on the 9th of April, you can see that the kit and the photo is right on the front page of our website. But if you're watching this later, you can type in expedition and the expedition page will pop up. You'll see the different kits that are there, but you'll also see the project and you'll see this recipe. Okay, so essentially you can click. These are links. I just printed it right from the website. These are all links that you can click onto and will take you to those categories on our website. So you're going to need a 10mm clasp for the leather, right? And the 10mm clasp, we have a lot of great different magnetic clasps. This one is right now exclusive to the silver kit that we sold out of, but you guys loved it so much, so we're going to be adding this one. I might check out our Book of Kells clasp. It's one of Janice's favorites. I love it. Also our clasp called Bountiful. That's another good one. Go and peruse the clasps, and I'm sure you'll find something you like. Then you're going to need what we call our Love of Lydia chain. Okay, and the Love of Lydia chain is this book chain. Okay, right here. And this book chain, this vintage book chain, is based on a uh, vintage chain style that was super popular back in like the late 1800s, right? So the book chain we sell by the foot. In the kit, you get 6 inches of it, which is plenty for you to use. You can get 2 bracelets out of that foot, and I'm going to show you what to do with this. But we carry this in some different colorways. We're going to add, this was one that was kit exclusive. These kits that I made, and those of you who have read about them, these are all named after women explorers. Here, I've got this one on my wrist. This is the Amelia that we might have a few left of. This was one that I did a few Great Bead Extravaganzas back. This is my nod to Candy Cooper, my little, my Native American, I believe it's Navajo piece that I'm wearing with some turquoise. This is my Kate's favorite bracelet, and this, someday you're going to see what this is all about. So I'm testing it out. So this is all, they're all named after lady explorers and lady mavericks. This one was named the Sally, and this one has that gunmetal chain in it. I'm so glad you loved it, right? I just saw Candy Cooper pop up. Hey, Candy Coop, this is my ode to you and your epic stacks right here. This one's called the Bessie Stringfield, motorcyclist extraordinaire, early 1900s. African-American woman jumped on her motorbike and went all over the country. This one's named Junko after the first woman who hiked Mount Everest, got to the top. I love this silver color. And then we've got the Amelia, which I'm wearing right here. And those of you know I love aviation and flight. And Kim Crawford, you'll like this. I actually, one of my friends, my Facebook friends in the jewelry world, her dad went up in the flight that we were talking about. Was it only yesterday? So he did the space thing. So I'm super excited to hear how it was for him. So it's kind of cool to have that connection, even though it's super, super slight. Anyway, so this is what you're going to need. You're going to need that. You're going to need the Love of Lydia chain. Then you're going to need some 5mm strap leather. Okay. Now the 5mm strap, again, this is one, we have one in the shop that's a pewter, right? The pewter, this is a little bit of a different color. It's not that same pewter. This is one that I got that was kit exclusive. The Bessie is, it's kind of a, they call it plum. I thought I had a piece here that wasn't wrapped, but I guess I don't. We're going to add this one too. It's kind of, it's not really, it's kind of raspberry, I think. And the leather is kind of purpley, right? I'm going to, I think I'm going to add this one too. I love it. But any of our 5mm strap leathers, we sell it by the meter. So what I did was I cut, you all have a 1/2 meter. So half of that meter will make one bracelet. So if you get a meter, you'll have enough for 2. Like 1 meter of the leather, 1 hank of the 1.5mm round leather, and then 1 foot of the chain. Then you'll just need to get yourself 2 clasps and you'll have enough to make 2. Okay. The blue one is the Sally. This is named after our space heroine, Sally Ride. And can you see that blue? I think I'm going to add this strap leather in some other colorways too, because can you see how it's embossed, really? Okay. And you can find all of this stuff. Let me put the website up. It's all right over on beadshop.com. Okay. I'll leave that up for the moment. Okay. For those of you who are new to us, welcome. It's great to have all y'all here. Okay. Oh yeah. Joanne, you live in Fresno? I'm loving Fresno. I'm telling you, it's a great town. Hot, but good. And then you're going to need, sorry, I'm so distracted. I love all my friends here on the, it's like beading with friends, Right? I love it. Then you're going to need the 1.5 millimeter round leather. You get a meter of this in your kit, right? So a meter is long enough for you to do this single one. We sell it in the 4-yard bundle, so it'll be slightly, 4 yards will be slightly short if you're doing 4 bracelets, depending on the length. But you'll have plenty. This is our distress gray, one of my favorites. You can see kind of how the distress gray wears over time. I have worn, this is my Kate's favorite. And the gray leather, I wear this almost 24/7, right? I wash my hands in it and stuff. So you can see that this leather has darkened. It's probably time for me to restring it. You can see I've got a little, it's coming apart there a little bit. But this, I don't know, it's probably almost 4 years old now. So I've been wearing it a long time. So it might be time to revamp it. But this is our distress gray that I love. So we do have that. And then you're going to need some Zap Glue, okay, to glue the leather right here into the clasp. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that. I've got a couple of tricks for that. Okay, and I'm going to take the beadshop.com off of the screen for now, and we'll revisit that. All right, so let's get to making the bracelet. And then if I have time, if you watched my free tip Friday on Friday, was it really just yesterday? Feels kind of like a lifetime. I don't know. I did some other little tricks with leather, and I want to share that with you, especially using this, how you can also use your little bits of that Love of Lydia chain. See how I used it as a crimp right there? All right, so when you get your kit, it comes in a little organza bag, and you dump it out, right? And as I say, you've got half a meter of this, so a little bit longer than 18 inches of your strap leather. So, and when you buy this by the meter, we sell it by the meter at Bead Shop, you're going to cut it in half, and then you'll cut it in half again. But here, you just have that half a meter. So we're just going to go ahead and cut that right in half right there. Okay? Right there. Then what I do, you can see, I'm going to lift this up a little bit so you can see here. I've got my clampers, and to start it off, I just get my strap leather and I just kind of lay it in, maybe one and the other. So I have a little channel there, but so it's close. Then I just get my 6 inches of chain that come in the kit, and I just kind of lay it in the center there. Okay, so that's the start of it all. I'm going to get a little closer now. You don't need to see those clamps. Then I'm going to unwrap my meter of leather. This silver is a pretty nice colorway. I'm so glad you guys like the kits. I may just redo them, right? I know that you guys want some more, so it does take a while to put them all together as kits, but you are so totally worth it, right? But you can also use that recipe and choose the colors that you love. So now in this particular 6-inch length of chain, let me count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Your length may vary just slightly, but you should have close to 17 lengths. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. This 9th one here is my center. Okay? So I'm just going to come in from the side here, and I'm going to put my leather in right on top of the chain. Now this first, I want to say like the first stitch, it's always a little wonky, right? It's a little hard to get everything to line up. So you're going to fuss with it a little bit, but once you get like 3 links up or whatever, you're gonna be good. So And you want this chain to be kind of centered, okay, in this, right? In your leather. So now I'm going to kind of pick it all up. I'm going to unclamp it and pick it up and see the little nubs on the chain. I'm only really going to worry about this one chain link right here. And I'm going to go around the back side of this side leather like that, right? So can you see I'm starting in the middle and working my way up to both ends. Okay, so I've kind of looped it here. And again, kind of try and keep the little nubs up top, but once you have it situated, then you're going to kind of fix it a little bit. So now this has come from underneath my leather, right? So I'm going to go over and up through the next link. Okay, then I'll go under and I'm going to pass it through. It's going through that same link. Okay, and there was a suggestion, why not pin the chain down to start? You know, you totally could. I need to kind of feel this, to feel the tension. So if pinning this down works for you, more power to you. But I kind of have to feel it in my fingers for me. Okay. So next I've gone up that one up here. Now I'm going to come down one. So I'm going to go around the side, underneath, through that bottom, the link underneath. And now back through that link. So you're not going like a figure eight like this. You're going around in a circle. Okay. And Joyce, these are your instructions right here. This video are your instructions. So jump back to this video. It'll be archived so many places. Fastest way to find it is to jump over to the Bead Shop YouTube channel, or it will also be linked on the kit page or on the project page, the expedition page. Drea will link that for me. So it'll be there, so you can always find it. So now see how I've gone through these three, okay, like this. So now I'm going to kind of tighten everything up. So see how I'm pushing this? I'm going to pull this leather. I'm going to pull this one. Once you've done these three, kind of neaten everything up, pull it, pull it, pull it, get your tension going. And now see how everything is really tame and ready to go. Okay, like this. So then I just come in, and from the top, I'm just going to start my weaving. I'm going to come up here from the back, go over the front. I can turn her over if I want to. Put it through the same link. Same link. If this is giving you a little bit of sass like it is me, I don't know why it's doing that. But get your pliers. There we go. And again, we want to make sure these little nubs of this chain are sitting on the front. I like to actually weave down towards myself, so I'm going to flip this down. Now it's coming from the back, through the front, flipper, push that link kind of up, open that up a little bit. And it's really easy once you get this going, once you get your expedition on the road. The thing that you want to do, you guys, is you want to kind of make sure that this tension is kind of even. So see here, while I'm just kind of manipulating it a little bit to get everything nice and even here. So I only have a few links to go on this side. And I don't worry about what's happening down here. Okay? I am worried about what's happening with my next link. Right? So I'll come around from the back, go through that link, flip it around, push that very same link up, send that leather through, pull the little nubs up front, tighten her up, and we're going to keep going. I'm going to go a little more at, you know, what I like to call Kate speed for jewelry making. So like Candy was saying, it's kind of like watching paint dry when we do this, right? When you're watching us create. But again, don't worry about keeping your whole chain, you know, like this one way down here, even. Just come in and worry about your next link. Okay. So what you want to do here is we're just going around. See, it's going around in a circle. This is sandwiching. We're not doing any infinity stitching with this. And you saw me do this a while back. I did this so long ago with that original bracelet with this guy here. I did it on, it might have even been like a Free Tip Friday or a Fun with Chain or something. If you go to the project page, I think we have that video linked as well. And see, these want to kind of bunch up. See how your chain is kind of bunching up there? Don't worry. We're going to kind of fix that a little bit. Okay, so there's that. There's that one. Now I turn this one around. So we're halfway home. Okay. And I'm going to just kind of give it a little bit of a tug here and kind of push my chain links so they're flat, right? Arrange my leather. You have to manipulate it just a little bit. Now we're going to do this side. So let's weave. Turn it to the back. Weave it through the link of that chain. Someone asked why this was called book chain. I have no idea really, but you can see if you Google vintage book chain, you'll see vintage examples of vintage jewelry that have this chain on it. And I'll tell you, it's just, there are variations on this. I would like to do some handmade book chain. I would have to make some wire strip and pattern it and then form it into circles, you know, into links. It would be really pretty to make in like karat gold, wouldn't it be pretty? You know that I am a jewelry fabricator. I like to make all kinds of fun things out of metal. It would be fun to create this. So see, going back and forth, you really want to make sure, you guys, that you start. I like starting in the middle and working my way out, because then I also make sure that my leather is even in the center. So I have half the leather working out this way and half the leather working out that way, right? I'm going to show you how to cut this chain, Nicole. That's a great question. Nicole's question is the chain easy to cut for those with tiny wrists? I'm going to show you, actually, I've got some extra chain right here, and I'm going to show you how I cut it. I'm going to show you also how, you know, I can break it down into components so you can use them in different ways. That little nub didn't come up, so I need to make sure. Watch your nubs. Watch those chain nubs. Come around. Now my wrist is 6.5 inches, and I'll show you where you can kind of size this piece. Okay, you really, again, this is like a couture garment, kind of, right? You don't just go to the dressmaker, give her the pattern, or she drafts the pattern for you, or he drafts the pattern for you, and then you're off to the races. You have to go back for fittings and stuff, right? Same thing with jewelry that's a little bit, not fussy, but we're not doing just a single strand bracelet. This is a little different. So you have to come back in and try this on. Okay, so here we've got this last one here, right there. Oh, and this, Kim Crawford, I can always depend on you. Google said the link of this chain is solid and rectangular in shape, resembling a mini book. Hence the title, Book Chain. Okay. And yes, we do carry, you can find this chain, you can find all of the components right on our website at beadshop.com. Okay. And I'll flash that coupon code at the end, you guys. Okay. So it's all there for you. All right. So now, remember how I kind of manipulated this side down? I'm going to manipulate this side down to kind of pull it a little bit. Give it a little bit of space there. So see how I'm really kind of pulling it so you can see that air. See how the links now aren't smushed up on each other? Okay, so it's nice and pulled. So let me get out my handy dandy tape measure here and let's do some measuring. Now that chain, it really did stay about 6 inches, okay, with manipulating this out. And I also want to make sure that I've pulled, that I don't have any loosey-goosiness here. This is a little loose. See that there? I don't like the looks of that. So I'm going to pull that one tight. I'm going to pull this one tight. Let's tighten that leather. I'm firming it up. I'm not like yanking it too much, right? But see the extra slack that's coming up there? We want to just walk that bad boy down. Okay, like so. There we go. Just so it's neat, right? And nothing will be too open. There we go. I like the looks of that. And you can kind of run your hands down it, figure out this is a little loose here. This end is going to be a little bit loose because there's nothing holding it yet. So, all right. So here we go. So this is 6 inches, right? So now let's measure our clasp. Okay. And you can see we've got plenty of extra leather here, and my leather, you can see, isn't quite even, so I could maybe pull this a little bit, but I'm going to end up cutting some away, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. So a little bit of, get that slack. You know what? That would even help you a little bit. You can do it from the back so you don't mark your leather. You can kind of use your I'm using my bent chain nose pliers to kind of help me walk that leather down where I want it. You don't want to grab it too tightly. You don't want to break the leather here either. So you want to be careful with that. But I did that because my fingers didn't want to grip. All right. So manipulated. There we are. So this is 6. Let's take a look at this. This clasp is about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, right here, about 3/4. So this will give you, if I, pushed it right up against there, it would be a little shy of 7 inches. Okay. My wrist, let me pull this. Let me show you this one. I make these a little bit bigger because I like to sit them a little more like a bangle, I guess. So this one, door to door, is, I tell you, it's about 7 1/4 is what this one shakes out to be. Okay. And you can see here at the ends, I use the ends of this leather to weave in a little bit. Not only do you have to do that to kind of secure this leather at the end, but you can make this longer and shorter on these ends. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and let's address this end first. You can, if you want, go and give this one a final pass through again, so you've got 2. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to come in and now I'm just going to weave around the leather cord, the strap leather. And see, so I want to bring it in kind of tightly. And I'm going to do this one. Now, if your wrist is even smaller than this, you can take out a couple of links. But here, and I'll show you how to cut it on this. I'll make this one a little bit shorter. Okay. So see here how I've gone through twice? I'm going to go around. So I want these to match. And probably about 2 is a good way to kind of push this in, right? Because you're going to, again, have to manipulate that leather, but don't be afraid to do it. Okay. Now we're going to come in and I'm going to get a little baggie to protect my, that's a little shiny, that's kind of big. Let me get a smaller baggie here to protect my velvet pad there. Let me dump some beads out of this. There we go. That's better. So now let me get a toothpick and my Zap Glue. Okay. I'm going to put a little, let me get tight so you can see this. Let me move this over. Okay. There we go. Now, a little dot of Zap right there. See, it's small. Small. Then I get my toothpick and I'm just going to spread this out just on this side. So see how it's going to come in. And it's going to glue right down. You want something, the Zap, why I'm using the Zap Glue by Kate Richburg, I'll tell you. And see how I'm pushing it down with the toothpick here. I'm using Zap because it is almost instant bonding, but it's not like a super glue that runs. Okay, it'll stay where you put it. Okay, so that's why I'm using the gel. I'm not familiar with B7000 to be honest, so I can't really speak to that. But the gel, the Zap, is what I love. And so, of course, and we sell it right here at Bead Shop. So now I'm just going to get my clamper. I'm going to clamp that for now. Okay. Now I'm going to take a couple of links out of this. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. So here, this was 6 inches worth of chain. I'm going to take out 2 links. Okay. And let me show you how I would remove those links so you can still utilize this chain. Okay. Get a little bit higher and take this out. Let me get, if there's any residue on that, from that glue, it's going to get me. So I'm going to move it. See how this book chain right here, how it's open, it's not soldered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pliers and I'm going to very gently, I mean, you could cut it if you wanted, but why waste these pretty little links? Let's just take it out. And so can you see how now I've got 2 links. I'll close them up and I'll set these aside and I can use them a little bit later. Okay. So let me, oh, and you know what? I need to finish. I don't want to finish with a loop. I want to finish with one of these book chain links. So let me turn this around, open her up. Take that one off. Get that cord back in there. And close her up. There we go. Okay. So let me measure this. Wanda's saying, or not Wanda, Lynn is saying for snugging down the lacings an awl would work really well. Lynn, an awl would work very well. I like that idea for sure. So now we've made this a little bit shorter. I'm going to manipulate, before I do the wrapping on this side, I want to make sure, let me get all of this extra business out of the way. I just want one clasp. I want to get rid of these. There we go. Because when I do the wrapping on this side, I want to make sure, remember that we're doing this flat, kids, right? So we want to make sure that we manipulate this around kind of in a circle so it's nice and flexible around your wrist. And can you see, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see like air, lots of air through those links. Okay, so give it a little work right here, a little workout. Now I'm going to come in, though we don't want to work it out too far. See, I made a gap there. That's not, I was being a little too vigorous. So see that working out kind of, let's just push this back. I don't want this to become unglued, but there we go. That looks just fine. There we are. So now let's do this one. I'm going to come in and I gave it 2 weaves. Right, nice and snug. It is pretty easy. I'm glad you guys like this. I like my Great Bead Extravaganza projects to be kind of easy, so because I only have an hour to demo, which feels like a long time, but when you're trying to teach something, not so much, right? So I'm going to come in, and I've got to get a move on. I only have about 10 minutes left, and there's so much more I want to show you. So let me speed this show up a little bit here. Let me get my toothpick. Get that? I didn't put my plastic on there, so I'm going to be really careful not to get this zap on my velvet pad there. Push that sucker down, and I'm going to come in with my clamp, and I'm going to clamp it there. I'm going to let that sit for just a moment, okay? And I want to show you this cord on my Free Tip Friday on Friday. These are those same links from that book chain right here. And so you can see I used this. We have this cotton bolo cord that's like a 2.5 millimeter kind of. So if you're using this for crimps, or if you're, I don't know, making like some kind of a banded bracelet or something, I don't know. This idea is going to evolve. You're going to see this again. But this was just me kind of thinking it out. See how you can utilize these as crimps. Okay. So see how I can just use my pliers and very carefully see the closures on this end. How I can use those to crimp down. Okay, I'm really pleased with that. Was a Janicism. She was like, I'm going to use those to crimp. And I think they look great. Okay, very Trails End element. That's exactly right. And this is crimped down. I mean, I haven't crimped it completely flat yet, but I could really go to town with these, crimp them nice and flat, and this would be a really nice element. Trails End is one of our signature pieces over at Bead Shop, so it's great. Wanda's also asking here, will I add more leather today? Nothing's going to be added today, you guys, but I promise you, we'll get that plum strap. We'll get more of this in. You guys are always so kind and always love our projects so much, and I appreciate all of your sales. Really make sure to go ahead and follow our newsletter, and you will be the first to know when all of these go into stock. So this is not the last that you'll see of this leather. Okay, so and I'll see. I may make more kits, or I just may stock the components. We'll see, but you'll see it. Okay, I promise. I promise. These probably could be used as a bolo slide. I mean, why not, right? You could tighten it up enough so it's kind of tight enough, and then it'll kind of move around. And I don't know if I would actually glue these. I think that the tension would stay, but you could certainly try adding a little bit of glue under there and then flattening those out. Okay, you could try it. Yeah, this bolo, if you're not familiar, we carry this also on Bead Shop, this 2.5 millimeter bolo cord. It's cotton, not leather. So if you're not aware of leather, this is a great choice for you. I want to do some laddering and stuff with this. So go back and watch our Friday episode of Free Tip Friday. You can see where I played around with some different connections with chain. This one you're going to see again too. This one here where I wove that in. So you're going to see those are going to come up again. So now that this glue has had a little time to set, did you see how I just came in? I took that clamp off and I cut that right there with my cutter. I'm going to do the same thing here. Take that clamp off and see that's on there. It's not going anywhere. So now here comes the clasp, and this is the part that sometimes gives people a little bit of a fit. Okay, so but just you'll be just fine on this. So some of the kits have this clasp here, this kind of rounded, pretty one here. And then this one here has this guy, which is a little more squared off. Now, I want to show you before I do it on the real bracelet. I want to show you here. See how on this, you want it to be a snug fit. Okay, right here. Let me do this with two pieces. So you may have to manipulate your leather just slightly. And the leather, the thicknesses of the leather may vary a little. Okay, but can you see how these two will fit. And the different colors, again, may be just a little bit different. Okay. But what I do to get a really good fit with the leather, and what I'll also do here so you can see it, I wouldn't mark it on my real piece, but I'm going to mark it. Will this mark here? You can see how far this leather, now I can't pull it out. It's about a 1/4 of an inch almost that goes inside that clasp. Okay. So you want like the back of your leather here to be a nice straight cut because you want to glue them in so that you've got glue on the back and on the back here and on this top. What I also do, if you're having trouble getting your leather in there, see how I have my wire cutters and I come in and I cut away. It's a little hard to grab it with your cutters, but I come in and I make a little bit of an angle cut with my cutter so that I can compress this side down. And what I also do to compress it even further if I'm having trouble is I get my pliers and compress the end down. Okay? And you don't want to widen it, you just want to flatten it down. And if you need to kind of cut it just a hair with your cutters, you can. Now it all just depends on your leather and on your clasp. But let me show you. See how that end has been thinned down? That's what really will help you. See how that just slides in there with no effort at all? Okay? So you're going to kind of do that to your ends. Okay? If you need to. Depends on your leather, right? So this clasp, see the difference between the openings? It just slides right into this one. But this one that has a little bit of a taper, you may have to manipulate it just a hair. All right, so let's get these in. So let me test this. This one, I need about that much, and this one, they're even. Sometimes these clasps are sneaky, and one side, the interior, it goes in further than the other side, but these look pretty good. So it's going to give me about that much. So I'm going to kind of visualize. Now you can see on these, I've got a little more space right here. Okay, so you can elongate it here a little bit more too. Okay, so I'll come in, I'm going to cut this right across like that. Same thing here, right across. About there. Even it up. You want a nice straight line across. See here how it's a little, I need to kind of manipulate that together to get that in there. So I work on the back now. I should have had a little bit more length here, but it'll glue in. Let me go to this side. This one will be a little bit easier. I'm going to get a little bit of glue there on the back and on the back. And you guys, you can check it too. I'm not going to check it because I've done this several times. But I don't want too much glue. See that? And I want to work on the back. And I want to keep my clasp connected because I don't want to accidentally glue one side upside down. Okay, and just manipulate that so it goes right on. Turn it over and make sure that you don't have any excess glue coming out the front, right? All that glue is in the back there. Now we're going to do this side. I need a little more space here. So I do something that I never do, which is kind of pull that up. Let me push this up a little bit. That's okay. It kind of took the coating off, but that's no problem. I'll add another line of glue there. I'm going to add this glue here. And on the ends, those blunt ends, again, working from the back. Oh, my time is almost up. Jill McKay is coming up next, everybody. You're going to have a great time with our Jill. She's got a beautiful necklace for you to take a look at. Oh, you guys are just gasping when I cut, right? You got to have the courage of your convictions, you guys, right? There's only like 450 of you watching right now. Who cares? Who's to know? Let me just push that down here for just a second. So let my glue grab onto that. There we go. That's why I use that Zap. See how it just stuck right there? Now, what I can do, if you want, you can undo the clasp. I want to make sure that I'm bringing it in, though, that I'm not gluing it in the wrong direction. So I'm going to take it off of that end really carefully, making sure that it's going in the right direction right here, flipping it over and pushing those ends right in that clasp. Now this side has a little bit of extra glue, but that's what these toothpicks are for. See, there's my extra glue right here. Okay. And you'll find this replay. Best place to find this is right on the beadshop.com YouTube channel, but we'll also put this on the project page on beadshop.com. Okay, so you guys will be able to find it. Don't you worry. There we go. See how I got that extra glue out of there? Now, what you want to be really careful of is I can feel that I got a little dot of glue right there. So I don't want to really quickly come in and close this up because I would glue this clasp closed. So I'm just going to let her simmer down there for a minute. Okay, so, but she's done. That's it. That's all she wrote. Junko is complete. So let me give you some last looks. I got to get out of here so our buddy Jill McKay can get on. She'll be on really shortly. Here's our quad of explorers, right? There we go. You will be able to find all of this loveliness if you jump right over to beadshop.com. I think all of the kits are sold out right now, you guys, but you will be able to find all of the project info right there on Bead Shop. Okay, and so don't worry. You'll choose your own adventure with these. Okay, and then you guys can also find on beadshop.com, if you enter Spring Fling 20, you'll save 20% this weekend. We so appreciate your patronage for our little small women-owned business. We are celebrating. There we go. That looks better. We're celebrating 40 years in the biz this year, you guys. It was 40 years ago, 1982, that beadshop.com started as a brick and mortar right in Palo Alto, California. So we really, really appreciate all of your time and patronage. Beadshop.com, enter Spring Fling 20 and save 20% store-wide. That sale ends on Sunday, the 10th at midnight Pacific time. You can also find us, you guys, this project. You can find information on the project and the products from today's broadcast right on our website. You can sign up for our newsletter for the latest discounts, giveaways, and new products. And you guys can find me every Wednesday and Friday on the beadshop.com social outlets, doing my free tip Friday and my Bead Shop Live on Wednesdays. That's 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. It was a fun project, and you guys are going to have even more fun expeditions with the wonderful presenters here at the Great Bead Extravaganza. Make sure and go to the page and the group pinned up at the top. You'll be able to enter our giveaway that has really great prizes from all of the wonderful presenters here at the Great Bead Extravaganza. Do make sure that you sign up under that official link. You give us your email address and you will get entered to win. And we'll draw those names and announce them in probably sometime next week. So you'll see that. Thanks again, everybody, so much. We so appreciate you. Have a fantastic, creative weekend. Lots of love to you, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, everybody.